If you're ready to explore the Hebrew roots of your Christian faith, then grab your Bible and let's get started. Welcome to Reconcile the Kingdom, where we're working towards becoming a harmony of the whole order truth. My name is Patrice Robinson, and I appreciate you coming by here on today. So last week, we covered Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 through 5. This week, we're going through Genesis chapter 1, verses 6 through 13. Now, I want to have a little recap. We covered the first day, and that first day, he created the deep, the waters, darkness, and light. We covered the gap theory, the Big Bang theory, and the angelic fall in the last video. If you remember anything, death did not come until the earth until that first man sinned. That first Adam had sinned. We have not come to the time that mankind has been created yet, or the animals or the beasts or anything like that. So death hasn't came yet. I recommend going back to last week's video if you missed that, so that you can catch up with us. I recommend the playlist, and that way you can catch up. So I hope you have your Bible in front of you. My goal was to be live for all the Torah chat points at this time, but I'm still going through learning the process. The process I'm in now is finding the right mic for my computer. So I'm on the search for that. So we will eventually go live once I get things together. And thank you for your patience that I will go live again. So we're still in the beginning. We're on Genesis chapter 1, verse 6 to 13, and we're going to read that. And Elohim said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And Elohim made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament of waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And Elohim called the firmament heaven. And in the evening and the morning were the second day. And Elohim said, "Let the waters under heaven be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear," and it was so. And he called the dry land earth, and the gathered together waters he called seas. Elohim saw that it was good, and Elohim said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, herb yielding seed, and fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself, upon the earth," and it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after its kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good, and in the evening and the morning was the third day. So we're going to take a look at verse 6 and 8. I want to understand this firmament. And Elohim said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And Elohim made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament, the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And called the firmament heaven. And in the evening and the morning were the second day. Now, last week, we spoke about the water, the deep, the abyss, that the Spirit of Yehovah was moving above. So Yehovah creates this space between waters. So there's water above and there's water below. The firmament is, you will find that in Strong's H7549, means a vault in heaven. It is the sky that we see, the sky that we look up and see. This first time we see the vault is open, and the waters from above and below came together again in the time of Noah. So again, we have this space, this water above and water below. The vault was opened, and water came from above and water came from below. And Noah, we kind of looked at this last week. Genesis 7:1-11. In the 600th year of Noah's life, and the second month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up from the great deep, and the windows of heaven were open. So we have the water that's coming from below and the water coming from above. You and anyone on earth is able to see as far in the sky sky in heaven, but we're not able to see the waters, but they are there. That same water above is still there. We only can see the sky. This is the evening and the morning and the second day. This is not morning to evening. This is evening to morning is the second day. Verse 9. And Elohim said, let the waters under heaven gather together into one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And Elohim called the dry land earth. The dry land is earth. And the gathering together the waters he called seas. We call them oceans, rivers, and other places. And Elohim saw that it was good. So the waters under the heaven gathered together in just one place, and it gathered into a place that was massive amount of water. Can you just imagine? We see the earth that is surrounded by water. So he spoke the dry land to come, and the dry land, the land itself is called, and the waters is called seas. And again, he named the dry land and the water. The psalmist wrote, the sea is his, and he made it, and his hands formed the dry land. That is Psalms 95:5. Jonah 1, and he said unto them, I am a Hebrew. I fear Yehovah, the Elohim of heaven, which have made the sea and the dry land. Verse 11, we're going to continue on. And Elohim said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and a tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. So the dry land, which is called earth, made it possible for the grass, the plants, the trees, the herbs to grow. Each of these were able to reproduce after its own kind. He created the food before he created the animals and mankind. So you have the food, what you need before he brought in the animals and mankind. He began to supply the needs first. This is how Yehovah started things off. The Psalmist 104, verse 14, he causeth the grass to grow for the cattle, and herb for the service of man, that we may bring forth food out of the earth. So he took care of those things for man and for the animals. Verse 13, and the evening and morning wore the third day. Remember, this is not morning to evening. It is the opposite. He started our day off evening and morning. Now, we have covered the second day and the third day. We done covered 2 days. The second day is the firmament. It's that vault that was created and waters were divided. The dry land, and which is called earth, is the name that he actually gave the dry land. It's the third day. And Yehovah created the food, our nourishment for the animals and humankind before they are created. He supplied the needs before you even need it. He's taken care of ahead of time. So today we covered 2 days. We covered the second and third day. As always, man does not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yehovah. I will see you as we continue through the book of Joshua. Have a blessed day. Thank you.